was raped by female IDF soldiers with a zucchini placed up his rectum, and the zucchini was soaked in pork blood. Let me give example of some of the war crimes. I have taken specific testimony from doctors, nurses, and operating room techs, all of which were abducted from the operating room while they were operating on another human being and taken to Israeli prisons and tortured. One nurse was actually shot in the knee because he refused to abandon a patient while he was still operating on the patient. And and then he himself, the nurse, was taken to an Israeli prison where he was tortured, not given any medical care against the Geneva Convention, which Israel was a signatory to in 1950. This person was given one juice box a day, sometimes every other day. He had been set free after 45 days of being blindfolded, was driven after he lost 45 pounds of his body weight, driven to the Israeli border in Khan Yunis, dropped at the border with his open wound draining maggots behind him who infected his wound. A rifle butt was shoved into his right eye, exploding it. And so he crawled to safety for 2 kilometers until somebody picked him up, blinded in his right eye, and his right knee still infected after an Israeli bullet went through it, completely untreated. And he fell into a coma where we found him with bed sores on the back of his ears and the back of his head. He subsequently, as a nurse, had his leg amputated in Egypt after multiple attempts by myself to operate on him to try to save his leg, all of which failed. I have surgeons who were abducted out of the operating room, taken prisoner, all because Israeli soldiers, and he was a prisoner in Israel, all because he tried to, they claimed that he knew where Hamas soldiers were hiding in the basement of the hospital. And there wasn't even a basement to this hospital. The hospital administrator gave me a tour of it. Only 3-foot high crawl spaces where the air conditioning and electrical and the sewage pipes were running. No room for to even stand up in these tunnels. And this doctor was taken prisoner for 11 months. And he was beat every time he asked to speak to his lawyer. He was beaten 3 times harder if he got to speak to his lawyer. He got his lawyer by whispering into his ear to get his family evacuated to Egypt. He remained in prison, beaten every day. Every one of his fingertips were broken by pliers and crushed. I saw x-rays of his hands. All of his fingertips still had every single one had a broken bone in it that didn't heal. When he still wouldn't tell them where Hamas was because he couldn't, because he never saw anybody that he could identify as Hamas, and nor could I when I was at the hospital. He then was raped by female IDF soldiers with a zucchini placed up his rectum, and the zucchini was soaked in pork blood. And then they showed him, when he still couldn't tell them where Hamas was, they showed him a spy picture of his wife and said that was time dated and geolocated out of his house, right by his house, and said, we will abduct her and bring her here and rape her in front of you. And then they showed him the same moment a drone photograph of his children's bedroom window, and they said they will send a missile through his, or a drone rather, through his kid's bedroom window and incinerate them. The amount of mental torture is far worse than the physical torture that this surgeon went through, an accomplished, elegant human being.